My problem is that I'm a people pleaser. The kind who takes every word someone says as gospel. So when the girl my parents raised, the one who took my place, threw a fit at dinner, calling the food disgusting, I didn't hesitate. I knelt on the floor, gathered the meal she had hurled, and began eating it piece by piece like it was a banquet. Their shocked faces told me I had done something wrong again. I smiled weakly. She said it was garbage. I explained quietly. And since that's what I am, it only makes sense that I eat it. My parents rushed toward me, horrified. But before they could stop me, Luna, the daughter they had raised, screamed and bolted toward the open window. Your real daughter is back now, so who needs a fake one? Maybe I should just die. As she swung one leg over the sill, instinct took over. I lunged forward, pulling her back into the room. Looking straight into her eyes, I spoke calmly. Sister, if you truly wish to die, I can help. But souls who end their own lives never find peace. I know specialists who can guide you across safely, very experienced people. That sent her into a panic. She tore away from me, sobbing into my mother's arms.
Mom.
She's trying to kill me. Catherine, my mother, stroked her hair and whispered soothingly. Luna, sweetheart, your sister didn't mean it that way. She saved you. She pulled you back. That only made Luna's crying louder. So you're taking her side now?
Fine.
I'll move in with Maria. She doesn't have any children. I'll be her daughter instead. With that, she ran out, leaving silence in her wake. Catherine turned to me, her tone soft but careful. Stella, you didn't grow up with us. You see things differently. Luna might not be our blood, but we've loved her for 18 years. Please be patient with her. Treat her like your real sister. I nodded earnestly, determined to follow her words. Later that night, when Luna entered her ornate, princess-themed bedroom, she found me there, my meager belongings unpacked on her dresser. She screamed a raw, furious sound, and grabbed me by the arm, dragging me off the bed. Who said you could sleep here? She shouted. You're trash. The noise brought my parents running. I stared at Luna's angry face, then at my mother's worried one. Mom, I asked softly, Luna is my real sister, right? She said I'm trash. Should I listen to her? You see, I was stolen as a baby. The woman who took me later had her own child and, disappointed that I wasn't a boy, abandoned me at a secluded spiritual commune called the Sanctuary. The elders there raised me. From my earliest memories, they taught me one rule above all: obey others. If someone wished for something, we made it happen, and the elders' words were law. So when my sister called me trash, I wasn't sure if it was another command I was supposed to follow. My mother's face twisted with pain. She pulled me into a tight hug. No, sweetheart, don't listen to her. She's just angry. Relief washed over me. Thank goodness. I didn't have to be trash. Catherine turned to scold Luna, but Luna was already crying again. She started it. She stole my room. She's trying to take everything from me. My father, Robert, frowned. What's happening, Stella? I blinked. Didn't my sister say she was going to live with Maria? I prepared the housekeeper's room for her in the basement. Since this room was empty, I moved in. Robert looked torn between anger and confusion. Catherine's expression softened, heartbreak shadowing her eyes. Oh, Stella, she murmured, brushing my hair back. You misunderstood. Luna didn't mean it. She's still in Ashton. I scratched my neck, embarrassed. I misunderstood again. I'm sorry, sister. But the way people talk here is hard to follow. Luna's face darkened. She shoved between us and pointed straight at me. Stop pretending, Stella. You know exactly what you're doing. I hesitated, then pulled out a small notebook and pen from my pocket. Words can be not real? I asked sincerely. At the sanctuary, the elders said the faithful never lie. I've never met someone who spoke without meaning it. I looked up at her, pen poised. Could you teach me how to tell the difference? I really want to learn. I wasn't joking. Everything I said came from genuine sincerity. But Luna clearly didn't think so. She slapped the notepad right out of my hands and turned on her father with tears in her eyes.
Dad.
Do you see this act? She's pretending to be all innocent while twisting everything I say. My father, unlike my mother, had a hard, controlled expression. He'd always favored Luna, and it showed. If you think she's lying, he said coolly, we'll see for ourselves. Let's check this room. She supposedly prepared. His eyes locked on me, sharp and unreadable. Luna immediately latched onto his arm. Yes. Let's go now. You'll see the kind of person she really is. I smiled, eager to please. Great idea. I'd love for you all to see it. When we reached the small, plain room in the basement, Luna froze mid-step. The bed was neatly made with her luxurious 400 thread count sheets. On the nightstand sat a framed photograph of her as a child, laughing beside our housekeeper, Maria. "I thought this might help you," I explained, completely serious. "Since you said you wanted to be Maria's daughter, I figured it might make her more willing to accept you." For once, Luna was speechless. My parents exchanged startled glances. Then, the realization dawned on them. Everything I said, I truly believed. Catherine's face softened with heartbreak. She pulled me close, whispering, "My poor child, what have they done to you?" I smiled faintly. I think the internet calls it being a people pleaser. It was true. I always took people's words at face value, tried to make them happy, did exactly what they said, even when they didn't mean it. Catherine held me by the shoulders, looking right into my eyes. "Stella, you're an Ashton now. You don't have to live like that anymore. Do you understand?" I nodded, but I didn't. If you don't try to please others, how are you supposed to connect with them? My parents decided to host a grand party to formally introduce me to high society. The night before, Luna came to my room, her arm wrapped around a tall man with cold, aristocratic features. His every movement screamed confidence and arrogance. He stopped in front of me, studying me with a disdainful smirk. "So, you're Stella. I've heard all about the way you've been treating Luna." I smiled politely, a little embarrassed by the supposed compliment. "Oh, that's nothing. You don't need to thank me. I've been doing everything Luna asked since the day I arrived." Naturally, I thought he was here to express gratitude on her behalf. But his expression darkened. "Let's get one thing straight," he snapped. "No matter what games you're playing, I love Luna. I'll never be interested in you." I tilted my head slightly, first one way, then the other. His eyes followed each movement. With complete seriousness, I said, "Mr. Pierce, you just contradicted yourself. You said you wouldn't look at me twice, but you've already looked at me at least 5 times. The muscle in his jaw twitched. Luna's face went red. "Stella, have you lost your mind?" I nodded earnestly. "I do get awful migraines." "How did you know, sister? Do you have any remedies?" Luna rolled her eyes so dramatically, I thought they might get stuck. I blinked in admiration. "Wow, sister, your eyes are incredibly flexible. That's impressive." One thing about being a people pleaser, you never miss a chance to offer a compliment. But Luna just groaned and turned to her fiancé. "Aiden, darling, you see what I have to deal with?" Before I could respond, Aiden grabbed my wrist, his grip like iron. "Enough with the games. I'm not interested." Before, I might have tried to smooth things over, to win him over, because he was, after all, the fiancé my parents had chosen for me. But my mother's words echoed in my head. "You don't have to please anyone anymore." So, I pulled my hand free. "Don't worry, Mr. Pierce. I'm not interested in you either." I turned to leave, but he blocked my path again. "If that's true," he said coldly, "then tell your parents to cancel the engagement. There's only one Ashton daughter, and that's Luna. Old habits die hard." I nodded obediently. "All right, I'll go tell them now." Luna's entire face lit up. She wrapped her arm around him, smiling like she'd just won a war. "Oh, Aiden, you're amazing." I went straight to my parents and told them exactly what happened. And the next day, in front of a crowd of elegant guests, my gentle, composed mother stunned everyone. With icy calm, she announced, "The engagement between the Ashton and Pierce families is officially dissolved." Gasps rippled through the crowd. Then, she added firmly, "We have 2 daughters. Anyone who refuses to recognize our biological daughter, Stella, will be considered an enemy of the Ashton family." The engagement was over. Luna and Aiden were finished, publicly and finally. For a few days she shrieked and sulked. Then, as if someone had flipped a switch, she changed her tune. She apologized to me, declared that she wanted us to be inseparable, and convinced our mother she meant it. Then she asked me to go shopping with her and requested $10,000 to spend. At the mall, she reasserted control. One moment I was fetching her ice cream, the next she ordered me to kneel and tie her shoes. She accidentally jabbed the point of a heel into my cheek. I obeyed every insult, every petty humiliation. My parents had said harmony would make them happy, and I believed them. By the end of the day, my arms were full of bags, handles biting into my skin. A circle of girls circled, whispering and laughing. "Where did she find this circus act?" One sneered. "Look at the bruises she's getting from those handles." Luna barely looked at me. She's the housekeeper's child, just someone who can't think for herself. she said, tossing the insult like a coin. Confused, I asked, "Sister, are you saying that for real? Or are you pretending? A few days ago you wanted to be Maria's daughter, and now you say I am." Which is true. Her stiletto slammed down on the arch of my foot. Pain flared. She leaned in, whispering like a snake, "Say one more word, I dare you." I thought carefully. This felt real, this command. So I answered, steady and soft, "Sister, I am the Ashton daughter, not the housekeeper's child." Color drained from her face. The girls around us exchanged looks, the expression of sudden comprehension replacing their laughter. "Oh, so she was the missing daughter everyone mentioned," someone muttered. "That explains Luna's attitude," another said. Luna tried to stop me again, but I moved. She pointed at me, shaking. "Get out of my sight. Go home now." For the first time since my arrival, I refused. "I can't." "You can't," she echoed. I glanced at the credit card in her hand. "Mom and Dad gave you $10,000 and said you cannot come home until it is spent." Luna's perfect eyebrows rose. "That is my money. But sister," I said innocently, "didn't you tell Mom we were shopping to get me clothes?" Was that pretend too? Her group dissolved into laughter. Humiliated, Luna dumped the bags and ran. I looked at the mountain of purchases at my feet and smiled. It had been a productive day. 2 days of silence passed. Then Luna devised a new scheme. She told our mother I needed education, that I was unrefined and should be placed in school. My parents agreed, as always, and told me to obey my sister there too. On my first day, Luna gathered classmates around like predators. "Stella," she asked sweetly, "what did you do before you arrived here?" I answered honestly, "I used to sweep at the sanctuary." They erupted, laughter boiling into scorn. "A janitor?" "She is actually a janitor," someone hissed. The shock curdled into disgust. "Really? None of you ever had to sweep?" I asked, puzzled, as their derision swelled. Luna, perched up on a desk, tapped my shoulder with the toe of her designer shoe. "Stella, stop being pathetic. These are heirs to major companies. Do you think any of them ever held a broom?" She glanced toward the courtyard, smiling. "The grounds look dirty. Why don't you sweep them?" Sweeping was what I knew, so I fetched a broom and went outside. Luna and her friends followed, circling like vultures. "Is that how you clean back at the sanctuary?" Luna mocked. I nodded. She shook her head and said, "No, back then you were bald." At the words, they pounced. Hands grabbed me, threw me down. Scissors flashed. The past I had tried to forget slammed into me, merciless and immediate. I thrashed, screamed, begged them to stop. "Don't touch my hair, stop." I cried, fighting. Luna shouted, "Cut it all off, shave it clean, make her remember." They pinned me, forcing my face to the packed earth, scissors snipping with terrible finality. My hair fell in clumps. When at last they let me up, I knelt in the dust, tears carving tracks in grime and soil. Luna laughed, holding up her phone and pressing the screen in my face. "Look, sister, do you like your new look?" The image was a mockery, half my head shaved bald, the other half left ragged. Luna tapped the screen. "This is too good to keep, I'll post it everywhere." Her fingers flew across the screen, and soon the photo was plastered across social feeds. She grinned, a blade of malice in her smile. "Are you angry now? I bet you are. But unless you fight back, nothing will change." Suddenly it clicked, the whole cruelty revealed as a command disguised as contempt. Luna wanted me to strike back, to prove I could be violent, unruly. So I lunged. I snatched the scissors from a nearby girl's hand and plunged forward, aiming for Luna's stomach. "Ah!" Luna screamed, clutching at the blades. Her eyes widened with disbelief. "Stella, are you crazy? You stabbed me." I smiled softly. "Yes. I have a problem. Are you just realizing that, sister?" Years of sweeping heavy stone courtyards at the sanctuary had made me strong, much stronger than Luna expected. I pushed harder. The scissors sliced into her palms as she shrieked. Then the tips caught on her dress, cutting the fabric. That day, with half my head shaved and blood on my hands, I walked through a crowd of silent students, holding the scissors. Luna was taken away in an ambulance. When she woke up in the hospital, she cried and screamed, demanding that our parents punish me. My mother, usually gentle, called me with a voice like steel. "Stella, you go to the hospital right now and apologize to your sister." My father, never one to hide his contempt, added, "If anything happens to your sister, you'll pay for it with your life." I took their words as truth. "I understand, Mom and Dad. I'll do exactly as you say." When I arrived, Luna lay weakly in bed, looking like she was on the verge of death. The moment she saw me, her eyes filled with tears. "Mom, Dad, please don't blame my sister," she whispered. "Even if I die, don't blame her, it's my fault. I was just unlucky not to be born an Ashton daughter." Before she could finish, Catherine was already sobbing. "My sweet Luna, don't say that. You will always be my daughter." Robert turned on me, his voice thunderous.
Well?
"Don't you have anything to say to your sister?" I thought about what Luna had said, then nodded. "Yes, sister. This is all your fault." The slap came so fast I didn't even see it. My father's hand struck my cheek hard enough to spin my head sideways. "Stella, I have no daughter as heartless as you. You hurt your sister and dare to blame her? Do you have any conscience at all?" My face burned, but the pain felt dull. The beatings from the sanctuary elders had hurt worse. I looked at him, confused. "Dad, is my sister badly hurt?" "What do you think?" he roared. I frowned, trying to make sense of it. That can't be right. I made sure Before I could finish, Luna burst into loud, hysterical sobs. "Dad, Mom, she doesn't even know what she did wrong. She doesn't care about me at all." My father slammed his fist on the table. "She doesn't deserve to be your sister. We don't raise monsters in this family." My mother, after calming them both down, pulled me out into the hallway. Her eyes softened when she saw the handprint on my cheek, but her tone stayed firm. "Why did you stab your sister with scissors?" I touched my uneven scalp, gathering courage. "Because sister cut my hair." For the first time, my mother really looked at me and gasped, "Your hair? Are you saying Luna did this? That's impossible. She's not that kind of girl." Just as I was about to show her the video, Luna appeared at the doorway, leaning weakly against the frame. Her voice was trembling. "Sister, you were the one who wanted to shave your head for sympathy. Why are you blaming me?" She held up her phone. On the screen was a photo, me in a barbershop chair, hair falling around me. My mother's sympathy vanished. Her face hardened. "Stella, I'm starting to wonder if you're even my daughter. You hurt your sister. You lie. You frame her. Do you ever tell the truth?" I opened my mouth to explain, but my father shoved me aside. "Get out. Don't upset your sister any further." Their anger froze me in place. When people are angry, you must accept punishment. So I dropped to my knees. "What do I have to do to make you forgive me?" My father gave a bitter laugh. "Do you think kneeling will change anything? You almost killed Luna." His words echoed in my mind. Almost killed her? That couldn't be right. The scissors had barely scratched her. How could she almost die from that? I looked up, desperate. "Dad, please tell me what to do." But he turned away, guiding my mother and Luna back into the room. I knelt there alone, thinking. Then I understood. "I understand now, Dad." I stood, walked to the large window at the end of the hall, opened it, and jumped from the 5th floor. A sickening thud echoed from below. Inside the hospital room, time froze. Luna was the first to move. She stumbled to the window and looked down. The moment her eyes found my body, she let out a strangled gasp and collapsed to the floor. My father rushed to the window next. His breath caught. Below, a pool of dark blood was already spreading beneath me. For several seconds, he could only stare. Then, a voice screamed from outside. "Oh my God! Somebody help!" Someone jumped. My mother took a trembling step forward, but my father threw an arm around her shoulders, blocking her view. "Don't look," he said quietly. She didn't try to. Instead, she clutched at him. She really did it?" He nodded, grim-faced. They started toward the door, but Luna's trembling hands grabbed at their sleeves. "Dad, Mom, don't go," she sobbed. "I'm scared. Please don't leave me alone." She buried her face against my mother's chest, shaking. My parents wrapped their arms around her, both of them pale and trembling. Catherine's voice cracked.
"Why?
Why would she do that?" My father's jaw tightened. Who knows? Maybe she was mentally unstable. They were frightened, yes. But underneath it all, there was something else, resentment. As if, by dying, I had once again caused them trouble. And as I lay broken on the cold pavement, my parents never came. No one did. I had simply fulfilled my punishment. I floated in darkness for a long time. Then, slowly, sound returned. A man's voice, low and steady. "She's incredibly lucky." A large planter on the 2nd floor balcony broke her fall. Otherwise, she'd be dead or paralyzed. A woman replied, "What about her head injury?" "We'll have to wait until she wakes up to see the extent of the damage." When the voices faded, I forced my eyes open. Two unfamiliar faces stared down at me, a man and a woman. My head throbbed. I reached up and felt the thick bandages wrapped around it. Who are you? They exchanged startled glances. Suddenly, a young woman pushed past them. The one who hated me. Stella, she snapped. What kind of act are you putting on now? I blinked. Stella? They must have mistaken me for someone else. I folded my hands politely. Patrons, you are mistaken. I am a helper from the South Cloud Sanctuary. My name is not Stella. Sunlight streamed through the window. I frowned. It's already midday. I must return to prepare the meal, or the elders will punish me. When I tried to get out of bed, the couple rushed to stop me. They called the doctor back, and after several tests, he told them, she's suffering from amnesia. Apparently, I had lost all memory of my time with the Ashton family. They kept saying that name, Ashton, and each time, a strange tightness gripped my chest.
I didn't know why.
I only wanted to go home, but they wouldn't let me leave. Then the cruel girl spoke up. Mom, Dad, don't worry. I already called that elder of hers from the mountains. Her voice was dripping with disdain. If she jumped, it's because she didn't want to be here. Let her go back to her precious mountain. The couple exchanged a look, then nodded. The woman took my hand. Daughter, she said softly, maybe the world down here isn't for you. Besides, you hurt your sister. It's only right that you return to the sanctuary and pray for forgiveness. She gave a faint, rehearsed smile. When your sister is married, we'll bring you back. We'll try again then. Her words made no sense. Sister? I had no sister. The pain in my head was unbearable. I closed my mouth and said nothing. Seeing my silence, the young woman clapped her hands. See? She agrees. Mom, let's just send her back. Then her tone changed, sly and eager. Oh, and since she's going to live as a nun forever, what about her trust fund? Can I have it? The woman hesitated, then nodded. We were going to split the company's shares between you two. But since your sister hurt you and won't be marrying, yes, you can take her share. The girl threw her arms around them. Thank you, Mommy. Thank you, Daddy. They all smiled, radiant with happiness. I simply watched. Empty. Then the door opened again. I looked up, expecting my elder. But when I saw her face, my blood went cold. It was Sister Serafina. The smile that spread across her lips was cruel and triumphant. Well now, number 2. You even shaved your own head for me. Saves me the trouble. Her presence made me shrink back. Luna stepped forward quickly. You must be Sister Serafina? She jumped off a building and lost her memory. We thought we should call you. Serafina's eyes narrowed. You know her? Luna shook her head quickly.
No.
Never seen her before. Catherine started to speak, but Luna shot her a warning look that shut her up. Serafina glanced between them, decided they were harmless, and dropped her kind act. She strode toward me, grabbed my shirt, and without a word, began slapping me across the face. The sound was sharp, rhythmic, familiar. Terror flooded my body, and I cried out from instinct. Elder, I'm sorry. I was wrong. Sister Serafina's lips curled into a sneer. Finally, you understand? Then you'll do exactly as I say. Terrified, I nodded quickly. Yes, Elder. I'll obey. I'll listen to whatever you tell me. The Ashton family looked on in stunned disbelief. Serafina gave a dry, mocking laugh. Forgive the commotion. This little stray has always needed strict discipline. Luna tugged on her mother's sleeve, whispering for them to leave, but Catherine didn't move. Her voice trembled. Sister Serafina, how could you treat her like that? Serafina's laughter grew sharper. Treat her? You're mistaken. This one isn't human like us. Catherine's expression hardened. Then what is she? A dog we raised. Serafina's heel pressed into my ribs. Go on, number 2. Show them how well you've been trained. Bark. Without thinking, I dropped to my hands and knees and obeyed. Barking was the only thing that ever stopped the beatings. Serafina smirked proudly. See? Obedient as ever. Born worthless, stays worthless. Robert Ashton, silent till now, spoke at last. So she does whatever you command? Of course, Serafina said smoothly. If you told her to die, she would? Serafina smiled. Easily. Number 2, jump out that window. The words hit me like a trigger. I scrambled toward the window before anyone could stop me. The Ashtons cried out, rushing forward. Catherine tried to reach me, but Luna clung to her, keeping her back. Serafina laughed at their horror. Don't misunderstand, patrons. She's an orphan, abandoned at birth. Her birth chart is cursed. We're only helping her pay for her sins. Catherine's voice broke with fury. Aren't you afraid of divine punishment for this cruelty? Serafina scoffed. Punishment? We saved her. She was defiant from the start, claiming her parents would come for her. We had to shave her head to make her accept her fate. Every few months, we do it again, to remind her who she is. At her words, my whole body began to shake. My scalp burned with phantom pain, memories flooding back, being pinned down, my head forced against the cold floor, the sound of scissors slicing through my hair, the cruel snickers echoing around me. If I ever resisted, Serafina would beat me until I bled. On bad days, she'd pluck the hairs one by one, humming as I screamed. Over time, I learned to fear haircuts more than death itself. Serafina patted my head like I was her pet. Poor thing, she sighed mockingly. A family once took her in, thought she was theirs. But they already had another daughter, one who turned out far better than this broken one ever will. The faces of the Ashtons grew grim. Serafina went on carelessly. Her real parents were looking for her years ago, but their precious daughter at home threw such a tantrum that they left before reaching the orphanage. Oh, and not long ago, number 2 made someone angry. They held her down and half-shaved her head. The videos all over the internet. Robert's voice dropped to a dangerous calm. Why would anyone do that to her? Serafina leaned closer, lowering her voice like she was sharing a secret. Sir, do you have a son in need of a wife? She'd be perfect, quiet, obedient, easy to control. She'll bear children without complaint. Her words made bile rise in my throat. I knew what the sanctuary did to girls like me, raised us to be sold off like livestock. But to be offered right here, like an animal for trade, was unbearable. Elder, I whispered shakily. Please, let's go. She kicked me hard enough to make me flinch. Don't be stupid. The richer they are, the better your chances. The more pitiful you look, the faster they'll take you off our hands. Robert's face was expressionless except for the vein pulsing in his jaw. That video you mentioned, he said tightly, show it to me. Serafina unlocked her phone and passed it to him. A moment later, my own voice filled the room, weak and desperate.
No.
Don't touch my hair. Stop. Please. Then came another voice, cruel and cold. Do it. Shave it all off. Don't leave a strand. The words cut through me like knives. Pain seared through my skull as memories collided. I grabbed my head and whimpered, my vision swimming. Robert Ashton watched the video to the end. His face turned to stone. Catherine spun toward Luna, her hands clamping down on her daughter's shoulders. Was that you, Luna? Did you do this to your sister? Luna stammered, her face paling. Mom, I didn't mean to. I was just joking. She's the one who stabbed me. She lifted her shirt to show the supposed wound, but the gauze slipped away, revealing nothing more than a faint pink scratch. Catherine's expression shifted from shock to rage. Meanwhile, my head felt like it was splitting open. I groaned in pain, and Serafina responded with another kick. Quiet, you useless thing. Get up. We're leaving. She grabbed my arm to drag me out, but Robert stepped in her path. His voice was ice. You're not taking her anywhere. Serafina smiled nervously. Ah, I see. So you're interested in buying her? Robert didn't answer. His fist did. The blow landed squarely on her jaw. Serafina crashed to the ground, and he didn't stop. It took 2 doctors to pull him away as he unleashed years of someone else's pain onto her. At the same time, Catherine's fury turned on Luna. She struck her twice across the face, tears streaming down her cheeks. How could you do that? She shouted, her voice raw. She's my daughter. My real daughter. The room erupted into chaos. Nurses rushed in, Serafina wailed, Luna screamed, and I slipped once more into the dark, merciful void of unconsciousness. When I opened my eyes again, the world felt softer. My head was heavy, but my mind was clear. The memories had returned. Luna was gone. Beside me, my mother sat holding my hand, her face streaked with tears. Stella, my sweet girl, we're so sorry, she whispered. We let you suffer in that place for so many years, treated like something less than human. The doctors showed us the marks on your body. Oh, Stella, how did you survive all that? I glanced down and noticed the sleeve of my hospital gown had slipped back, exposing the thin, white scars that ran along my arm like cracks in porcelain. Shame flooded through me. I pulled the fabric down quickly, retreating into the pillows. I'm sorry, I murmured. You shouldn't have to see something so ugly. Their pain, their tears, it all felt like another debt I had to pay. But my father shook his head, his voice trembling.
No, Stella.
You have nothing to be sorry for. We've called the police. They raided that so-called sanctuary. He swallowed hard. It wasn't a sanctuary at all. It was a place built on cruelty. They were hiding dozens of girls, training them to be sold like property. He took a shaky breath. It's over now. They're all in custody. You'll never go back there again. For a long moment, I couldn't move. Then, the tears I'd been holding back for years finally fell. The nightmare had ended. What they didn't know was that I'd made myself ugly on purpose. Every time they shaved my head, I told myself that no one would want a girl who looked like that. If I was undesirable, I would never be sold. But each act of defiance came at a price. Pain, humiliation, punishment. My father's words echoed in my mind, but one question still lingered. Dad, I said softly, do I still have to die for what I did to my sister? My parents exchanged a look that carried too much sorrow for words. Catherine's voice quivered as she asked, Stella, the day you jumped, was that why? I nodded faintly. Dad said if my sister was ever hurt because of me, I had to pay with my life. I saw how bad her wound was. I thought giving my life would make things right. The moment I said it, my father broke. He gripped my hand and pressed it against his cheek, sobbing.
No, sweetheart. No.
It was my fault. I was blind. Luna tricked me. She wasn't even hurt. It was all lies. All those things she did to you, all those rumors at school, we know everything now. We failed you, Stella. I failed you. I thought back to the day I'd gone to the barber. The half-shaved mess on my head had made me feel sick every time I looked in the mirror. I only wanted them to even it out. I never imagined Luna would take a photo and turn it into proof of some crime I hadn't committed. Looking at my parents now, broken, remorseful, I felt a strange ache inside me. Grief, yes, but something gentler too. Still, I had to ask, where is she now? She's gone, my father said firmly. She is not your sister. We sent her away. You never need to speak of her again. But I hesitated. But Mom always said I should treat her like my real sister. All my life, I had been trained to please others, to obey, to adapt, to become whatever they wanted me to be. Even now, that instinct lingered. My mother pulled me close, her arms trembling around me. You don't have to listen to anyone anymore, Stella. Not to me, not to your father, not to anyone. You are your own person now. You don't owe anyone obedience. You only have to do what you want. I tilted my head up, my voice barely a whisper. Not even you and Dad? My father placed a gentle hand on my head. Not even us. From this moment on, you're free, Stella. Truly free. The Ashton name, the company, the inheritance, it's all yours. And I swear, no one will ever lay a hand on you again. Something inside me shifted. For the first time in my life, I smiled. Small, fragile, but real. To live without fear, without needing anyone's approval. Maybe that was what freedom really meant.